He told me to just leave our stuff where you found it. So I did. And when they missed their shoes, their shampoo melted, and their laptop died, they finally understood what I'd been doing for them all along. If you've ever been the one who silently holds everything together, only to be blamed when things go wrong, this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in for a tale of subtle revenge, sweet justice, and one woman's breaking point in a house full of clueless dudes. I was 21 years old and just trying to survive college like the rest of us. Only instead of cramming into dorm rooms, I rented a small, off-campus house with 3 other students. 3 guys, to be exact. At the time, it felt like a fair trade. Split rent, shared space, a bit of freedom. But I quickly learned that shared space meant something very different to them than it did to me. The house had 1 bathroom. 1 for 4 people. And guess what? I was the only woman. I was also the only one raised by a mother who believed cleanliness wasn't optional. At first, I didn't mind picking up the slack, throwing out trash, wiping the counters, putting their shoes in the closet so we didn't trip over them, moving their laptops out of walkways, basic courtesy. But the longer I did it, the more it became expected, the more it became invisible. I didn't get a thank you. I got annoyed glares when someone couldn't find their shoes, even though I'd always put them in the same closet. I got passive-aggressive comments when their laptop wasn't in the exact spot they'd left it plugged in across the floor like a tripwire. They treated my effort like an inconvenience to them, as if I were sabotaging them instead of cleaning up after them. And then came the girlfriend. One of the roommates had a girlfriend who basically moved in. Technically, she lived elsewhere, but all of her stuff, and I mean all of it, ended up in our house, in our 1 tiny bathroom. She showered twice a day and somehow had more beauty products than I'd seen in my entire life. The shower went from having a bottle of shampoo and a bar of soap to a beauty aisle explosion. Dozens of plastic bottles, scrubbers, razors, oils. Her shampoo bar, which I later found out was some kind of boutique $30 a pop thing, was perched like a holy artifact on the corner of the tub. And you guessed it, she didn't contribute a single cent to rent, to utilities, to cleaning, but she took up all the space. And suddenly, I was scrubbing around a chaos of beauty products every time I tried to clean. I asked, politely, if she could at least store her things in my roommate's room when not in use. I explained that it made cleaning harder, and I was the only one doing it. Her response? Blank stares and silence. His response? A shrug. Then came the infamous verdict from the House Tribunal of Entitled Dudes. Why don't you just leave our stuff where you found it? Oh, okay. They really had no idea what I'd been doing for them all along. No idea how often I prevented their belongings from being damaged, lost, or tripped over. They thought I was some nagging clean freak who got in the way. Fine. If they wanted to see what life was like when I left their stuff where I found it, I'd happily oblige. Let's start with the bathroom. Next time I went to clean the shower, I didn't move a single bottle. I sprayed down the tiles, right over everything. Scrubber bubbles, all-purpose cleaner, bleach spray for the grout. It soaked her $30 shampoo bar like it was a sponge. Within a few days, the bar had disintegrated into a gooey, useless mess. All the other bottles were left slippery, coated in cleaning spray, sliding across the tub like hockey pucks. It was a mess, but hey, they told me to leave everything exactly where I found it. Next, the laptop. One roommate always left his plugs into the wall, stretched across the middle of the living room floor. I used to move it gently to the side, tucking the cord behind the couch to prevent accidents, but not anymore. One morning, I walked right through, tripped on it, unplugged it mid-charge, and left it, just like that. Later, he came stomping out of his room furious. His laptop was dead before class. I blinked at him and said, "I didn't touch it. I left it right where you had it." But the pièce de résistance, the shoes. They left their shoes everywhere. Dirty sneakers, flip-flops, slides, all scattered across the living room like landmines. I used to put them in the front closet so I could vacuum. But not this time. Instead, I rolled up the living room rug with their shoes inside it and vacuumed the rest of the house. I remember the moment they came stumbling out of their rooms in a rush, asking, "Where are our shoes?" I kept vacuuming. I said, "I didn't move anything. I left them right where I found them." They looked around dumbfounded. They checked under the table, behind the couch. For half an hour they searched, growing more annoyed. Then I walked into the living room, turned off the vacuum, and casually unrolled the rug. Thump, thump, thump. Their shoes tumbled out onto the floor like bowling pins. The look on their faces was delicious. They gawked at me like I was the villain in some kind of horror movie. One of them actually said, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I just smiled. I said to leave stuff where I found it. After that, something shifted. Suddenly, the girlfriend's 87 bath products were magically stored in his room. The laptop plugged in somewhere discreet, out of footpath range. And the shoes, they started making their way into the closet without a word from me. It was like watching toddlers suddenly learn that maybe, just maybe, they shouldn't bite the hand that feeds them. No screaming, no ultimatums, just a quiet lesson taught through the most passive-aggressive, meticulous adherence to their own rules. They called me an asshole. But you know what? They never left their crap lying around again. Sometimes the best revenge isn't loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, methodical, a mirror held up to someone who's taken you for granted, until they finally see the mess you've been cleaning up all along. If this story made you smile, hit that like button and drop a comment. What's the pettiest but most satisfying revenge you've ever pulled off? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of sweet karma, roommate drama, and well-earned payback.